our children are our greatest inspiration. And I feel like when we really stop and forget about what we should be doing, should in quotes, and listen to our intuition and listen to the people that know us best around us, I feel like our greatest journeys really begin and the biggest surprises. And this really came out of nowhere and happened by accident. So this has been like such an incredible journey. But I say that to children when I'm reading my story to them. I do author visits, and when I'm reading them my book to them, I tell them, I'm like, you are our greatest inspiration, and children are our greatest teacher.
Welcome to GMP, the Great, Glorious, and Glamorous, aka the Going North Podcast. I'm your host, best-selling author, and certified self-leadership trainer with the John Maxwell team, Dom Brightman. And this is the podcast where authors from around the world help you realize that success is tangible. You'll leave with at least one new tip of inspiration or information or even motivation every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. Now let's get on with the show. Today's episode is sponsored by the GoingNorthPodcast.com shop. And if you head over to the wonderful website, cop some merchandise, take a selfie with you rocking the gear, shoot it to yours truly, the host, Dom Brightman at gmail.com, and I will give you a shout out on the show as well, and heck, even tag you on social media as well. So feel free to check out some of the good old merch on GoingNorthPodcastShop.com. Now let's get on with some super special, awesome content. And today on the highlight reel built for authors known as GMP, the Great, Glorious, and Glamorous, it's the Going North Podcast. And we got a guest today that could probably fit all three of those G's and more, because my goodness, triple threat plus extra, baby. You know what? Let's call her six-pack ab plus extra. Yeah, how about we go for that six-pack threat? Baby, that's right indeed, because not only is she a lovely mother too, she's now a newly published author, as well as a teacher, a wonderful actress with the SAG, that's right baby, that union baby, that's right, as well as a model and a budding entrepreneur that is constantly growing and rediscovering herself, and she's all about the mighty R known as reinvention indeed. So let's give it up for Miss EF herself, the elegant and fantastic Eleni Fuiaxis. How you doing today, Eleni?
I'm fantastic, Dom. Thank you so much for having me. Wow, that's quite an intro. I wish I could come on every day. Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right indeed. She's in the danger zone now, folks. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. She's now in the danger zone. That's right indeed. Y'all folks are going to be getting a 5-day episode. That's right. Cancel all your plans. That's right indeed. We're going to get all of the corniness out of Eleni today. And tonight.
Absolutely. Cancel all your plans.
Yep, that's right indeed. That's right indeed. Well, speaking of plans canceled, I'm pretty sure you didn't plan to become a wonderful author at the age of 25. So my goodness, am I filling in any cavities I may have missed?
Wait. You didn't say 25, right? Because I'm 52. Are you getting your numbers first? Where are you getting these facts? I'm a middle-aged single mom. I don't know where you're getting your numbers from.
I read 52 is 25.
Incorrect. Incorrect data. Do not start spreading that. It's 52, actually. Yeah. And proud of it. A lot of wisdom comes with age. So, yeah, definitely did not plan to be publishing my first children's book at this stage in my life. But here I am.
Oh, yeah. That's right. You heard that right, folks. Single mom, so she's on the market, y'all. That's right. Slide into her DMs. That's right.
Oh, no. Not that kind of single mom, Dom. You were causing a lot of trouble here, boy. Oh, my goodness. We haven't even gotten started yet. Oh, my goodness. Not that kind of single mom. I'm a mother of two. Oh boy, you are trouble.
Hey, that's why I give folks a disclaimer. Hey, let's do a few episodes before you submit a pitch, and voila, welcome. Hey, I'm sure you get a lot of attention, a lot of positive attention, I imagine.
Yes. I'm trying to bring a lot of positivity into the universe, especially with this children's book. That's what I'm all about.
Oh yeah, that's right indeed. So it helped you to finally make the jump and publish your book, because my goodness, like you're living a heck of a wonderful life because of all the wonderful stuff that you're doing and all the stuff you've done in the past.
Thank you. This is actually my most exciting chapter yet because this is something that's totally new to me. And it actually started 8 years ago because I was a busy mom and I was exhausted, like most parents. I'm sure any parent listening to me can relate. Oh, I would love to read to my kids, Dom. And then at the end of the day, I was so tired that I was falling asleep with the book in my hand in the rocking chair, if you will. So what I did was I defaulted to storytelling because I didn't have to keep my eyes open. And my true story. And my kids were loving it so much and they would look forward to it. And of course, the point was to get them to fall asleep. And they would eventually fall asleep. And on many occasions, they would wake up the following morning and they would say, Mom, what happened? Did Bernie make it back in time to save the planet or whatever it was going on in my imagination? And I was like, I don't remember. I was half asleep. Are you kidding me? And my son was like, Mom, you need to listen to me. You need to write these stories down. So I was like, okay. And then my younger son started, both of them, Zen and Billy. But one day, Zen came home. He was in second grade. And he's like, Mom, did you write your stories down? Because I got permission from my teacher. And she's going to let us use her copy machine. And we're going to sell your books in front of the house. We're going to make a lemonade stand. And we're going to sell your cheesecake with your children's books. And I was like, wow, he has a great plan in mind. And he's a little budding entrepreneur. And I was like, if only it was that easy. And my kids' true story did not let up. So I ended up writing the stories down. Yep. And here I am today with my very first children's book, Piggy Patrick. It only took 8 years, Dom. This is a true story. I started collecting the stories and writing them down. And then my marriage fell apart and I kind of lost myself. I lost my publishing contract. I lost the right to use the illustrations. I lost my deposit. I got completely derailed. I lost myself. I was like, who am I outside of this marriage? So I went on a path of self-discovery and it took time, as those things usually do. It's not an overnight fix. And I kind of came into my own and discovered that I'm an author. And now I have another publishing company, Mascot Books, that published my first book, Piggy Patrick. So this is really a tribute to my two children because they inspired me to write this story.
That's what I'm talking about, Dave. Well, congratulations. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, yes, indeed. Your journey's finally coming to the next big whole step. She's at the top of the mountain, y'all.
Only going north, Tom.
Oh, yeah. That's right, indeed. North, indeed. And congrats on the kids encouraging them like that. Like, I always like to say that kids are kind of like the best life coaches because they call us out in their BS and they don't have filters yet and they haven't been tarnished too much by the earth yet. So it's like, it's like, Mommy wants to write a book. Yay. Sweet. Cheesecakes. Yay.
Absolutely. I love that. It's so true, Dom. I got certified last year during the height of COVID to teach. And I'm an elementary school teacher here in New York City. And every time I'm in the classroom, every day I'm doing this full time when I'm not on tour for my book and stuff. But for the most part, I've been doing it full time. I am so inspired by these children. And I'm so glad you said that because any parent or grandparent listening, it's like our children are our greatest inspiration. And I feel like when we really stop and forget about what we should be doing, should in quotes, and listen to our intuition and listen to the people that know us best around us, I feel like our greatest journeys really begin and the biggest surprises. And this really came out of nowhere and happened by accident. So this has been like such an incredible journey. But I say that to children when I'm reading my story to them. I do author visits, and when I'm reading them my book to them, I tell them, I'm like, you are our greatest inspiration, and children are our greatest teacher. And it's always true. They're so funny and sarcastic and insightful and completely uncensored. It's just so much fun. And we have the best part about this book is at the end of the book, added questions for discussion. So there's questions about how do you define perfect? When you have a problem, do you ask for help? Are you a good friend? Examples on kindness. We have so many amazing conversations about social emotional learning, which is part of the core curriculum in New York. So this book, I realized even though I wrote it 8 years ago, I was ahead of my time, Dom. I was writing about social emotional learning because as a mother, these are lessons I wanted to teach my children. I wanted to instill values in them. I wanted them to be kind. I wanted to teach them self-acceptance, self-esteem. I wanted to teach them how to problem solve. And I was like, I need to figure out a way how to do this in a fun and entertaining manner. And then put some questions and prompts in there for teachers or grandparents or educators. You could use this in the classroom. You could read this with your kids at night. I know busy working moms who are like, my husband and I both work. We read this story to them on a Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we do like the questions. And she's like, I can't believe the things that my children are telling me. And I can't believe the things I'm finding out about my own children that I never knew. She's like, it's incredible. And I had a first grader who said to me after I did a read aloud, she said, Miss Fuiaxis, I love your book. And I said, thank you so much. What do you love about it? You know what she said to me, Dom? She said, I understand life better now. I understand people's feelings. And I can tell you're really proud that you wrote this book. I was bawling. I was trying not to weep openly. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I was just so emotional. I was like, wow, it was so validating, truly.
Amen to that. That's what I'm talking about, indeed. And big congratulations. And I love that. So SEL, social emotional learning, like that's huge. That's huge and something that's needed nowadays, especially the way the world seems to be going on the outside, and especially with the way kids are being exposed to so many negative things at such an early age, where it's like we need wonderful tools that you're creating to actually get ahead of that and help kids to actually focus on the good and focus on learning and just learning more about life from a good perspective.
1,000%. Oh my God, you totally get it. That's why we're kindred spirits. I really believe that. I feel like now more than ever, Dom, we're coming out of COVID. These kids missed 2 years of education, of socialization. It's time now more than ever to disconnect and get off the devices and open up a book. Open up a book, because that's when you really connect with children. When you stop what you're doing and turn your phone off and turn your ringer off and, dare I say, turn the television off, children pay attention to that. It's meaningful to them. We're saying to them, I see you, I hear you, and you matter. And then in addition to that, we're passing along in this book, like the one that I wrote, values, all these important values. So they're learning lessons I wish I knew growing up. They're learning self-acceptance, problem solving. It's like a mini mastermind when you get talking to children after reading this story. And I'm really trying. I mean, of course, the book is great and I would love parents to read it. But more than that, I'm trying to reignite storytelling in schools and across this country, because I'm walking into classrooms. And of course, I'm a substitute teacher, so I have lessons to cover and I want to do my job and do it well. But everything's on the smart board. And I have teachers saying, oh, just hit this tab, go to the next tab, go to the third tab, the fourth tab. There's 13 tabs on the board. And then you get through the day. And I'm like, it's 13 tabs on the smart board. And what I do is I say to them, get your books out. I pull my book out. I read to them. I try to get them to use their textbooks, write in their notebooks. I'm like, it's gotten to a point in this country where when mothers give birth, they're going to hand the babies iPhones instead of formula. I'm like, this is not a good trend. This has to stop. We really they need to catch up. And of course, our children, unfortunately, have fallen behind. This is not my opinion. This has been documented. This has been written in the press all over in New York City, especially. I know around the country, kids miss different amounts of time, but we're talking 2 years. How are we going to get that back? We need to go back to the fundamentals. We need to go back to playing board games, getting old school. Call me a dinosaur. I don't care. I won't be offended. I think we should get old school. I think we should sit during dinner time and actually have conversations. I think we should play board games. I did this with my 2 boys, and they're teenagers now. We did this on Mother's Day. And I was like, you know what I want? And they were like, what? They're afraid to ask sometimes. They're like, oh boy, here he comes. And I'm like, I want to stay home. I don't want to cook because I do a lot of cooking. I'm like, I do not want to prepare the meal. Let's order in. And let's play some board games and let's talk. Let's actually sit and have conversations. They're like, oh boy. And I'm like, put the headphones away, the iPads, the iPods, all of it. And it was so much fun, Dom. We had the best day ever. And that's what I love about this book. It's allowing me to connect with children organically. Children in private schools, in public schools, in charter schools. I just got back from my book tour in Montana. I went to reservations. I went to colonies. These are places that normally don't welcome people from the outside. But my cousin and his wife lived there. They raised their 4 daughters. And my cousin's wife was teaching in these schools and they welcomed me. And I went to the elementary school that her children attend. There wasn't anywhere I didn't go. One day we did 120 miles to go to one school in particular. And I was like, you know what? I'm like, you're my Uber XL. I just kept teasing. I was like, you are a strong Montana woman, strong Montana mom, supporting me on this book tour. And guess what, Dom? I took my mom with me on my tour. She came with me to every school, every read aloud. And I was like, I want her to see that I'm still growing and learning and flourishing, and that I'll be able to take care of myself and my children. And that, you know what, this is a journey that I'm embracing. Although I have no clue what I'm doing. I'm just looking forward to it and embracing it all.
Hey, well, there you go. Embrace it. That's right. Embrace with both arms and legs. Indeed. That's right. Indeed. That's right. The teacher's in, y'all. That's right. She's traveling the wonderful world and with her wonderful books and mom in tow. That's right. Indeed. That's right. Indeed. So have your apples ready, y'all, because Eleni is coming to town, y'all. That's right.
Watch out, Tom. I take that as an invitation. You just invited me to Maryland. I'll be coming down. I took that as a personal invitation.
And hey, we got plenty of schools in Maryland, plenty of schools everywhere, so heck, why not? I mean, if you can go and go all the way out to Montana, shoot, well, why not Maryland?
East Coast to West Coast. I took 2 airplanes and I told the children, I said, I drove over 100 miles to be here today. I flew from New York. Their jaws, they were like, New York? Their jaws were dropping. Their eyes were bulging. It was a huge hit. I mean, it's been such an incredible, rewarding experience. I mean, I feel like I'm getting more than I'm giving from these children. And they're so insightful. When you read the story, they resonate with the character, Patrick, who seemingly has it all, but he's still picky. He's still dissatisfied. And that really resonates with these kids. And I'll ask them, I'll say to them, oh, Patrick is very picky. Are any of you picky? And they're like, some of them are like, yes. Some of them are shaking their heads no. And the teachers are going, oh, yeah, we have a lot of picky ones in this classroom. And sometimes they will acknowledge, and they are very self-aware, and they start to tell me all the things they're picky about. And it's so much fun because I'll say to them, okay, Patrick asked for help in the story when he had a problem. When you have a problem, do you ask for help? And then some, of course, nod and some were shaking their heads. And I'm like, wait a minute. If you're not asking for help, then how are you solving your problems? Like, what do you do if you're feeling anxious? If you have a problem, how do you get through it? You would not believe what these kids are sharing. Do you know what this little boy said to me? He said, I talk to my pets. And I was like, I love that. I never had a pet, but I could see how that could be so powerful. And then another boy says to me, I love to draw. And I draw when I'm feeling anxious. And another little girl said, I love to write. Another child said, I listen to music. Another child said, I play music. I play my instrument. And I'm like, this is a mini mastermind. These children, as I'm standing here, are teaching each other how to self-soothe, how to problem solve. I mean, it's just incredible. It really has been an amazing journey. And the best part is we're learning together and they are learning from one another. Children really do have the answers. I think a lot of times they get frustrated. They feel anxious, especially with everything going on in the world. One of the teachers said to me, thank you so much for coming. It means so much to us that you made this trip and that you're taking the time to be in the classroom and spend time with the kids. Like living this day and age where you have young adults going into classrooms and shooting children and teachers and madness in the world. They were like, thank you so much for just getting old school and just coming in and doing an author visit and reading your story and sharing with these kids. I've seen kids when I teach in New York City, I'm in classrooms where, of course, you have some kids that have special needs and sometimes there are different behavioral issues. Dom, every time that things start to get hairy in the classroom and kids start acting up, you know what I do? I don't have a magic wand. I'm not a fairy godmother. I open up a book and every single time the kids just calm down, settle down, and they come and sit at my feet and I read to them and it is magic time. It is just the most magical, incredible thing. And it reminds me so much of when I was reading to my kids and they were little and I had them in my lap. And I'm like, wow, what an incredible journey. And it really is magical. That's something I want to tell every single parent, grandparent, principal, teacher, educator, substitute teacher. I don't care what subject you teach, what state or country you're in. It is magic. So if you have kids at home or in a classroom that are misbehaving or acting out, stop everything. Shut the board down. Believe me, take out a book and just start reading to them and connect with them. I promise you, it will be the most rewarding experience ever. It's proof. I've lived it. I've seen it myself.
There you go. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. Living proof, indeed. That's right. Living it herself. And I love the fact that you're really about really keeping things old-fashioned, especially with the kids nowadays, because like it's so right, especially with the smart board, because it's like, hey, 13 tabs open, similar to the grown-ups with me. I got too many darn tabs open at the top.
I know. That's all of us, Tom. That's the age we're living in. I always say, like, everything in moderation. Like, I'm not saying don't have devices. I'm not saying we don't need them. I'm not saying it's not necessary. I'm saying at one point in the day, if you're a teacher and you're in the classroom, or if you're a parent at home, I know you're exhausted at the end of the day. At one point, you want to stop everything, shut everything down, and connect with your children. And stories allow us to do that in a way that is so magical and powerful. It is something they will always remember. My children remember their favorite stories. They remember stories that I told them and stories that I read to them. And especially stories like the one that I wrote. And there's a lot of fantastic books out there and other authors like Mo Willems, and there's other incredible books, people sending incredible messages to children. So the advice I give to parents and educators is choose wisely. It's like everything else. There's so many hours in the day. So you need a book or a story that's going to do double, triple, quadruple duty. That's going to work as hard as we do. So this book teaches, okay, there's opposites in there. There's animal recognition and incredible illustrations that my illustrator did, Joe Schwenard, through Mascot Books. But there's the lessons in there. And it's like when you're taking time out of your day, as long and hard and impossible it is as it has been, those are seeds you're planting. And those seeds, they may not sprout overnight. They never do. But trust me when I tell you, they will sprout, they will grow, they will flourish. And that's time that you're investing in your children. Is there anything in this world that's more worthwhile than investing in our children? That's our future, Dom.
Amen to that. That's right. She's preaching, y'all. That's right indeed. Gotta throw the robe over, baby. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. So speaking of, I guess with all this wonderful lessons that you're sharing with the kids and all these past careers that you have accumulated over the years, have any of them touched any life lessons that you borrowed over to publish this book and possibly future other books that you're going to be putting out there in the world?
There's so many lessons that I have learned. And the one that really resonates with me is not to give up on yourself. And that's something that is resonating with the students and parents and teachers everywhere I go, because the children are getting the message not to give up. And so are the parents. So many parents and teachers come to me and they say to me, Eleni, I've always wanted to write a book. I didn't think I had it in me, or I gave up. I mean, one librarian in particular in one of the schools was saying to me, I've always wanted to write a book. And I said, okay, it's not too late. Like, I'm living proof. It took me 8 solid years from the time that I started compiling the stories to now when it got published. I got completely derailed. Life threw me so many curveballs, and I'm still here. So not giving up, being resilient, willing to take risks, Dom, and being willing to fail and fall on your face. And trust me when I tell you, as parents, we want to put on our tough face, our pretty face, our strong face, our intelligent face. And you know what? Our children need to see us fail and figure it out. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm so proud of the fact that my children have seen me struggle and come out to the other side. And you know what? I was maybe cracked or broken or whatever you want to call it, but that's how the light gets in. The light gets in through the cracks. So they saw me struggle. They saw me find my way. That's powerful because it's not just what we tell them. It's what we show them. It's what we're modeling. Those are the most powerful lessons of all. So if we can embrace that and take our mess and turn it into a message, that's so profound. And I actually included that in my book. At the end of the story and at the end of the questions and the prompts, I actually included a picture of my children back in 2014 when I thought I was publishing the book and my kids are much younger, and a picture of them last year and they're hairy teenagers and they look like young adults. And there's a picture of us now in present day. And I literally wrote in there, there's a message, a note from the author that says, don't give up. Don't compare yourself to anybody else, because that derails us. And that makes us feel sometimes insecure and inadequate. So don't look at anybody else. Run your own race. And you know what? It might take you longer, but who cares? The most important thing is finishing and seeing your life's passion come to fruition. There's no greater reward. And I've had a lot of different careers in my lifetime, but this is by far the most rewarding thing I've ever done.
Ah, yeah, that's right indeed. All the gold medals, y'all, all the rewards, y'all. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. So my goodness, so with all this wonderful education that you're doing, Educator Eleni, there we go, the double E.
E squared, I love it.
That's right. She's got all the geometry, all the good geometry. So my goodness, so what are the plans for future books? Because I'm pretty sure this is the first of many to come, and you had a bunch of stories that you're half asleep telling, so I'm pretty sure they're going to be waking up soon in the coming years.
They are awakening. They definitely are. Picky Patrick has siblings who are waiting to join him in the universe. So Picky Patrick is my first release, and that's being released at the end of the month. And then I have Smelly Nelly, Scared Stephen, and Negative Nathan. Those manuscripts are finished, and I'm currently working on Gossip and Gabriella. And that's about the power of your words and understanding and knowing when to keep a secret and when to say something. And just there's something so powerful about the words that we use and what we should share and what we shouldn't share. I think that that's a great lesson for elementary school. But the other stories, Smelly Nelly's about hygiene and she doesn't want to take a bath or brush her teeth. And that really resonates with, and it's more fun and lighthearted. It resonates with a lot of parents. And then one of the other books is about bullying, which is something I know a lot of kids in this country are grappling with. Kids every day are crying to me, Miss Fuiaxis, Miss F, so-and-so did this, and I'm being bullied. It's so epidemic in this country, in the schools. I can't wait to get that book out because it actually is, it's based on a true story. It happened when my son was in second grade and we switched schools. And he started a new school. It was not at the very beginning of the year. And one kid in particular was picking on him and telling him outright, you're not going to make any friends. The new kid never makes friends. You wear glasses, like kids with glasses aren't popular and nobody likes kids with glasses. Can you imagine? Like, you're wearing glasses, I'm wearing glasses. I'm like, all kids wear glasses nowadays. I'm like, why are you signaling him out? Why are you going after him just because he's new? And I really was profoundly upset when my son was going through that because he was coming home every day and he was in tears. And it was a difficult time and transitional period for him, as many children when they're switching schools or moving out of state, whatever the situation is. And I really felt compelled to write about that. And I don't think I changed anything. I literally wrote it exactly the way it happened. And what I did was I ended up going to the playground. Do you want to hear how it all came about? Or
of course
do we have time for that? I'm not sure.
No, we got time. Go on ahead.
Okay. Because I think this could be really helpful for parents out there if their children are going through something like this. And so many are, trust me. Unfortunately, that's the case. So what happened was I asked my son, do all the kids go after school? I found out what playground they go to. And then when we were at the playground, I asked him, is that kid, that boy that was bullying you, is he here in the playground? And my son was like, yeah, that's him in the red hoodie over there. And believe me, part of me wanted to go over there and just give him a piece of my mind, because my son was coming home every day and crying. And as a mother, that's just like such a painful thing. And you feel helpless. I was like, what can I do? There's nothing I can do. What is there? So by the grace of God, I went over and I said to the child, he was about to leave the park. And I said, hi there, I'm Zen's mom. And he was like, whoa. He stopped dead in his tracks. And you could tell he was scared because he knew what he was doing and he knew it wasn't right. And children know that most of the time, right? 9 times out of 10, they know what they're doing and they know that it's not right. And it doesn't feel good to them. And I thought to myself, there must be a reason he's doing this. I always try to find out people's why, like why the behavior is happening instead of just being reactive. So I said to him, I leaned over and I said, thank you so much for being such a good friend to Zen. And he was just like stunned. You could see his eyes opening wide and he was like very confused. And I was like, I don't know if you've ever switched schools, but it's so hard being the new kid. And I said, you're awesome. And I literally put my hand up and I gave him a high five. He put his hand up and, reciprocated, and we had a high five moment. And I said, thank you for being such a good friend to Zen. And he was just like, okay, lady, like what just happened? He could not process, like in that moment, like what had just happened. And the next day when Zen came home from school, he literally said to me, Mommy, you're not going to believe what happened in school today. And I was like, what happened, honey? And he said to me, this little boy invited him to his birthday party. And he played with him at recess. And they literally became best friends, Dom. The entire year, they were inseparable. It makes me emotional to think about it because my sister's right. She works at a school. And my younger sister, Maria, said to me, you know what you did, Eleni? You planted a seed. And she said, she works with children also, and she's incredibly insightful. And she said, when we expect the best from children, they rise to that occasion. They want to be awesome. They want to be a good friend. They want to do great things. They want to feel good. So yeah, it was pretty incredible. And that was the finale of that story. And it was a beautiful friendship blossomed because of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, indeed. So what inspired that thinking? Did you hear that somewhere from your sister? Like, what led you to that idea to just speak those words to the kid as opposed to giving him your piece of your mind or finding the mom and smacking her?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. You know what? That's a great question. I genuinely think it was just, I have a lot of compassion for children. And I always believe that children are innately good. Children are never evil. It's very, very rare that a child comes into the world wanting to do bad things. And I always believe that. And I always want to believe the best in people, not just in children, but especially children, because they're innocent and they're innately good. So I think it was the part of me that was compassionate and that wanted to believe that he wasn't just being a mean kid on purpose. And I wanted to give him the opportunity to prove that he could be a better friend. And I believe that we should give people chances like that. And I do that every day. I remind myself of that every single day when I show up to work to teach. I have other teachers say to me, oh, this child is bad, or this child is so poorly behaved, or this child is behind and slow. And they use all kinds of adjectives and words. And I get where they're coming from, but I'm like, let's not label them. I really don't believe in labels. I'm like, I'm just going to embrace the moment, the time that I'm here with them, and let them show me who they are and what they're about. And that's always how I've parented. And I think that just coming from a compassionate, authentic, organic place and having that open heart and just telling myself, don't be reactive. That's a lesson, a very tough lesson, because for many, many years, I was a reactive type of person. I was that way in my marriage and I had to undo it. And that's the power of mindset. So I just kept telling myself, don't be reactive. And I do that in the classroom. It doesn't matter what kind of shit is going down, Dom. I'm like, don't react. Let's breathe. Let's just shift things, or let's see what we could do to change the mood and like engage the kids and like have them go from here to there. There's always a way. There really, truly is. Do you want to take the time and the effort and the energy to find that answer? That's the question.
That's what I'm talking about, indeed. Using that energy to find the answer, indeed. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. Yes, indeed. That power right there. That's right, indeed. Part of the power of therapy, too. That's right, indeed, with that mighty T. So, my goodness. So, when I think of Picky Patrick, I think of picky eaters. So, if this wonderful book right here was a food, what would it be and why?
Oh my gosh. If it was a food, I don't know if it would ever make it on the menu because... Oh my God. Initially, when you asked me that question, I think, okay, no capers on this. I want the dressing on the side. I want the chicken fried, not grilled. I don't want gluten in it. Is there flour? Is there milk? Is there allergens? Is there no peanut sauce? Put the peanut on the side. Like so many things come to mind. But I will say, to me, this book is a kale Caesar salad, no croutons, with grilled chicken on top. That's what this is, because to me, it's like, I remember when I used to eat romaine Caesar salads, and then my sister was like, kale is healthier. You should try kale. I'm like, I don't want kale. I want it to taste good. And then I was like, wow, there's some really tasty kale Caesar salads out there. And then I'm like, it's good for me. I want something healthy on top. I need a protein. Let's add chicken, maybe cut out the croutons. And That's where my mind's going right now. So I would say, yeah, because it's yummy, it's nutritious, it's feeding your mind, your body, your soul, and it's going to serve you well throughout your lifetime, just like this book. So it would be, yeah, a kale grilled chicken Caesar, no croutons. Extra dressing on the side for me, please.
Ah, there you go. Pun intended, since she's a model. Extra dressing on the side.
That's where a lot of the hidden calories are in the dressing, but I'm like, that's where I like it. You know what? You got to enjoy life. Life is just too short.
Oh, yeah. That's right indeed. Enjoy life. Forget calorie counting for a couple days. Not a couple years. That's what COVID did to a lot of people.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. You get your steps in, you get your exercise in, you figure out other ways to work it off. Everything in balance. That's the one thing my mom always taught me growing up, like find your balance. And I think that that's good advice.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Exactly. It's like two people being boring on a seesaw. That's right indeed. That real balance.
Yeah. I love that metaphor. That's awesome. I feel like we're on a seesaw right now. We're in perfect harmony.
Exactly. I mean, we're in alphabetical order at the moment. We got the D, the E, and the F. Most deaf.
Oh my God. Oh, this is too much fun. I knew it would be.
Well, you're definitely welcome. You're definitely welcome back here.
I told you this before we got on. I listened to you all day long in my car. I love it. So entertaining, and what great value you're providing for your listeners and your audience. Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Oh, yeah. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. That's right. She's a 2 gold star guest, y'all. That's right indeed. She don't get 1 gold star. She gets 2, y'all. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. And that's a rarity. That's a rarity.
Oh,
right
thank
indeed.
you. I love gold stars. I'm all about, just giving people the recognition that they deserve, especially in the classrooms. Stickers go a long way. Stars and stickers will be your best friend, especially when you're a substitute teacher in New York City during the height of COVID and all hell's breaking loose. You need to come in with your bag of tricks, books and stickers. Yep. They'll be your best friends.
Oh, yeah. That's right. They'll even end up on foreheads, indeed. That's right, indeed.
I love letting the kids, it's interesting because you think they all want it in the same spot, and they're like, yeah, a lot of them want it on the forehead or on their bicep or on their hand. It's so cool. They all have their own little unique personality.
Oh, yeah. That's right, indeed. That's right, indeed. Not everybody can be chocolate at the same time. Sometimes you gotta throw in some Skittles. That's all, you know? That's right, indeed. I want to taste all the rainbows. Well, the good ones. But hey, that's a whole nother podcast. So we're coming down to the magical question that every guest gets to receive. And that is, if you're going to wake up tomorrow and you're 25 for real this time, it's 2022, what advice would you give to yourself?
Oh my, wait a second. Stop laughing so I can. Okay. What advice would I give myself 22, right? Is the question?
Yep, you're basically 25 again in 2022. That's right.
Yeah, I would say love yourself. You're lovable and you're perfect just the way you are. If you could learn to love yourself and know that you deserve love, I think that, that's a wonderful gift that everybody deserves to give themselves. And it will carry you throughout your lifetime. And I feel that wonderful things happen when we believe that we are deserving. So I would say, love yourself, trust yourself. You got this.
Right indeed. It's right indeed. That's right. You got this indeed. You got it both arms and legs. You got this indeed. Throw in some claws. You definitely got it indeed. No escape. That's how much you got this, y'all. That's right indeed. And you are loved indeed. And for those who need to show the wonderful Eleni some love and be on the lookout for this magical book and future books to come and keep up with your journey, what's the best way for folks to do so?
So you can check out my website, thekidswelove.com, or you can track me on Instagram, DM me, message me at elenifuiaxis.nyc. or on Facebook at Eleni Fuiaxis. EleniFuiaxis.com is also coming. It's under construction. So yeah, my website, social media, all that good stuff. And Picky Patrick is sold on Amazon.com and MascotBooks.com.
Woohoo! That's what I'm talking about, indeed. So we're going to put the links to those marvelous sites and stuffs in the show notes, indeed. So that's right, folks. Follow Eleni, indeed. She's got you covered like 5 blankets, indeed. That's right, especially when winter comes back around. She's got you covered like 5 blankets, indeed. You're going to feel the warmth, y'all. That's right, indeed.
Feel the love. Feel the love.
That's right, indeed. So my goodness, any parting words before we close up shop, Eleni?
I guess the most important message that I want to relay once again is it doesn't matter what is going on in our world. It doesn't matter how tired we are, even when we feel like we are on empty. We really need to stop and disconnect and make time to connect with the people that we love and care about. If you have children, especially now more than ever, cuddle up with them after they have a bath and read them a book. I promise you, I'm telling you now that I have teenage boys, I know that time that I took is paying forward. It's paying dividends. There's no other way to say it. The reason I have such a deep connection with my children now is because I took that time to lay down that foundation back then. So please read your children, connect with your children, with your spouses, with each other. Life is short. Tell each other how you feel, that you love one another. Don't take a single moment for granted.
Thanks a bunch for tuning in and setting aside some of your time to listen to this wonderful podcast, Going North. If you really enjoyed what you heard, do me a solid and share this with your network and someone that you care about that would get something out of it too. And be sure to subscribe to hear more, and heck, even check out the backlog if you would like, because there are hundreds of episodes to choose from, and they just keep getting better and not butter.